One withstands the invasion of armies. One does not withstand the invasion of ideas. After the victory of the Central Powers in the Great War, revenge has been on the minds of France and Britain. And not just a revenge of war and conquest, but in establishing a new form of society across Europe and the world. One which is informed by socialism and set against the ideals of autocracy glorified in Germany and Austria. In France, leaders counter such ideals by way of syndicalism, evolving the means of production to workers through collective action. In Britain, their politicians have chosen a more drastic approach by taking complete control of society under the guise of totalism. In the East, Russia follows suit by electing socialists into power, choosing to follow the ideology espoused in Paris. With the Triple Entente of the Great War now reformed as a Socialist Internationale, the three nations discuss the pertinent issues of the time. One of these is war with Germany. They agree that France and Britain will strike in the coming months, and Russia will sweep in when ready. France mobilizes both its industry and military in preparation, while Britain follows with its navy. Germany, hearing of this through its various contacts in France, puts into effect the defensive plans it has had since the Great War. Immediately, a push is made into France and the Balkans in order to secure the cities of Charleville, Lille, and the Latvian countryside. Despite the initial falling back, the French army holds the line once more, entrenching themselves as they had done over 20 years ago. The British, refusing to become involved in the front lines, attempt naval invasions into the Netherlands, which fail for the time being. Little seems to be coming by way of breakthroughs on any part of the front. Both sides settle in as winter begins. Germany sees this and believes that the Schlieffen Plan, as it had worked in the Great War, would work once again. Soon, Russia is forced into showing its hand. Having prepared with France and Britain, as well as having suffered little in the transition to socialism, Russia is weaker than before, but ready. As history had shown with Napoleon's invasion of Russia, scorched earth tactics prove useful in slowing the Austro-German advance. On the Western Front, movements are continuing as slow as they were, but fall ever so slightly in the favor of Germany. With the war raging on in Europe, the rest of the world has its own desires concerning its end result. Whereas the Entente, led by Canada, has already joined in against the Internationale, the US, Italy, and Japan consider doing the same. Talks take place in Vienna between these various anti-socialist powers in preparation for their allying with the German Reichspakt. Germany, now held back in the northeast of France, commands a naval invasion of Aquitaine, a region of southwest France. A second landing makes its way to Normandy, as the Austrians invade the region of Provence near Marseille. Despite the lack of superiority on the seas, France is able to hold successfully against every naval attempt. The Internationale seems only to become stronger in comparison with each successive naval failure. Back in the east, Russia still holds their line and is even pushing south through Scandinavia in order to surround Germany. Both Austria and Germany just can't seem to hold on much longer. Russia, Britain, and France begin to turn the war around in almost every way. Russia makes its first offensive moves in the south, looking to once again gain access to the Black Sea. As for Britain, they take complete control of German-aligned Ireland. Finally, France, having thwarted the various naval invasions, consolidates its forces and begins to weaken the German and Italian front lines. Every front now failing for the preeminent Germany and their allies, both military and civilian morale began to falter with the Reichspakt. As the first pushes into mainland Germany began, socialists staged protests in various urban centers, including Berlin, Munich, and Dortmund. The various nationalist groups of the Austrian Empire do the same, as the region of Lodomeria falls to Russia. Of all the Central Powers, Italy continues to hold on, but with little by way of military support. With the war on its way out in mainland Europe, Kaiser Wilhelm II begins preparations for a government in exile in Africa. Canada, alongside the US, Japan, and India, declare their support, with the latter three joining in against the Internationale. Paris is surprised by the declarations, but puts on a calm face. Unfortunately for the Reichspakt, the acts of friendship prove too little too late, as their defenses fall all too quickly. Italy, still holding on to their front, is in a situation not much better, as its new allies have no access to the Mediterranean. Soon, just about all of Europe is under socialist control. Despite the coalition of two continents, in the coming years the Internationale would cement itself as the possessor of Europe. As retribution for this would only come by way of skirmishes in the Atlantic and in the Far East of Siberia.